This video will be in multiple parts. G'day. Before I get on to the first part, or I guess we'll make this the first part, I wanted to say thank you very much for your kind thoughts about my bird dying last week. It was very much appreciated, and the comments both here and on Facebook, social media, it really did mean something, and I guess it hit me a bit harder than I would have thought it would have, but thank you, it's very much appreciated. And it's very quiet around here now too. What I wanted to talk about is various cameras, but I don't want to make it just too techie. I thought I'd throw in a little bit of my own history. And here comes Teddy the cat. And as usual, I'm leaving it a bit late in the afternoon to record this. Anyway, a bit of my own history. I was once upon a time a professional photographer. I started initially in the film industry 32 years ago. So I was a pro photographer for some years before that. And I did various things. Did it for the love and also eventually for the money, which did tend to take away a little bit, I felt. But anyway, did such things as landscaping magazines. That's my picture there. A couple of pictures there and various pictures throughout the book here. But anyway, yep. I thought I'd whip out my old portfolio. So let's dust it off. I don't think that gag worked too well. Might die on camera from powder inhalation. Oh no, the camera's all covered in it. Oh well, anyway, let's pretend there wasn't so much dust. Okay, got some things I used to do for the newspapers, things like that. There's tons of stuff in here, but yeah, once upon a time, because I used to develop my own, all my own photos and everything like that, and usually do my own stories. The place I used to frequent and visit people out west from Brisbane, they had a big, some more stories there. They had a big photographic competition in town once, and I entered. It was actually one of the doctors that I saw up there, and she said, "Which category are you going to take out, Stephen?" I went, "All of them." And I wasn't being a smart ass or anything, but I did. So you see, there's quite a few little things there. Oh, yeah. Right, so there's quite a few, and another little town as well. Okay, so now the other aspect, let's move on to part 3. And for that, I'm going to have to change outfits, so just bear with me for a sec. Well, okay. Yeah, why did I merge into this rather now firm-fitting shirt? Well, I'll show you. The theory behind it is there's a 24-hour camera focused on my grass. Using the example from the website Grasscam that I created many years ago, it was a little documentary they filmed, and back then we had a 4:3 ratio on our TV screens. So I wanted to show you the difference between that and the widescreen that almost all of us have now of 16:9. Filmed at 25 frames per second here in Australia. Some parts of the rest of the world are 30 frames per second using NTSC format. Ours in Australia and UK and other places is called PAL format. But I won't go into too far the technicalities of that because there's millions of videos online. Because grass doesn't do a lot in a minute. Okay, well, I think I might get out of this snugly fitting t-shirt and back into something else, so bear with me again further. Well, that's a little more comfortable, I think. Okay, let's go into part 3, where I show you some differences between the old cameras and the new cameras. I used to teach photography as well. When you press the button, light goes into the lens, past the shutter. The shutter inside the lens opens to a predetermined level. Although many of the DSLRs no longer have a mirror, the light was then reflected upwards through a prism and out through the viewfinder where you could frame the image. And in SLRs, the shutter curtain would open and expose the film. With DSLRs, which is digital single lens reflex, there is no shutter curtain. Instead, the light hits the sensor, where it's digitally converted into an image. In single images, this all occurs one time. In high-speed or multiple images, this can occur many times per second, anywhere up to 1,000 to 10,000 times per second. When using your phone to take photos, there is of course no shutter curtain or manual shutter. It just uses the electronic shutter and records directly as a file. Video is merely a sequence of these photographs together in rapid succession and recorded as a file rather than on film. Lastly, I know you're curious, so here's a quick comparison between photographs from the 7-year-old Canon and the phone camera, everything set to standard, to the Panasonic. I have to admit, the Panasonic by far and away is the better camera. So what really is the best camera for YouTube? Is it one of these or is it one of these? I think the best camera for making videos, YouTube videos anyway, is the one that you have with you. Take it easy. Hope you enjoyed the video. And remember, if you liked this video,